What if a single message could set continents on fire? What if just a few edited words could turn peace into war and birth an empire from the ashes? It sounds impossible, but it happened. This is Hidden in History, where shadows still speak. Today we unravel one of the most cunning manipulations ever written, the Ems Dispatch, a telegram that changed everything. A story of pride and power, deception and ambition, where one man's edit reshaped the destiny of nations. Stay to the end, because this isn't just about 19th century politics. It's about how the truth itself can be weaponized. If you love stories where power hides behind silence, subscribe to Hidden in History. Join us in the places where history whispered before it roared. Europe, summer of 1870. The continent is at peace, but it is a fragile peace. France, under Emperor Napoleon III, stands proud but anxious. The empire's glory is fading. Its army is still strong, but its pride stronger. Across the Rhine, a new power rises: Prussia. Efficient, industrial, hungry. At its head, Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor, a man who believes destiny isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Bismarck has one dream: a unified Germany. But the German states are scattered: Bavaria, Saxony, Württemberg, each with its own loyalties. To unite them, he needs an external enemy, someone to push them together. And France, with its arrogance and fear, will be perfect. The opportunity comes from far away: Spain. After a revolution, Spain's throne is empty. The Spanish government offers the crown to a Prussian prince, Leopold of Hohenzollern. To France, this feels like encirclement. Germans on both sides of its borders? Unthinkable. In Paris, newspapers scream about the German menace. The emperor's advisors whisper, France must act or be humiliated. France demands that Prussia withdraw the prince's candidacy. The king, weary and old, goes to rest in the spa town of Bad Ems. There, on a quiet July morning, the French ambassador, Count Benedetti, approaches him while he walks by the fountains. Their meeting is civil, awkward, but calm. Benedetti: Your Majesty, France hopes for your assurance that this matter will never be reopened. Wilhelm: I cannot promise what the future may bring, but the question is closed for now. He nods politely. The ambassador bows. No anger, no threats. Just two men in the sun, speaking with restraint. That evening, Wilhelm sends a telegram to his chancellor, Bismarck, in Berlin. Met Benedetti. Conversation polite. No further discussion needed. A peaceful end. But in the hands of Bismarck, peace is useless. Bismarck reads the king's message, and he sees it for what it could be: a spark. The king's words are polite, careful, too careful. Bismarck doesn't need careful, he needs outrage. He takes up his pen. Line by line, he cuts, removes, sharpens. Gone are the courtesies, the pleasantries, the diplomatic warmth. The message, once calm, now sounds cold and insulting. His Majesty refused to receive the French ambassador again, and had him informed that His Majesty had nothing further to say. No context, no kindness, just arrogance on paper. Exactly the kind that French pride cannot ignore. Bismarck orders the press to publish it immediately. He knows what will happen. By morning, the Ems Dispatch is on every front page in Europe. In Paris, the reaction is volcanic. Crowds gather, shouting, "À Berlin!" The French parliament rages. They say the king has spat in France's face. Bismarck watches the chaos unfold like a chess master seeing his final move take shape. He later writes calmly that his edict was like pouring a strong wine into water. He needed a war, and now France would start it for him. July 19, 1870. France declares war on Prussia. Across Europe, diplomats shake their heads. A war over an insult? Over a telegram? But Bismarck's trap has snapped shut. The southern German states, once wary of Prussian domination, now rally behind him. He has given them a shared cause: German honor. The war is swift and merciless. Prussian armies move with machine-like precision. At Sedan, Napoleon III's army is surrounded. The emperor himself is captured. Back in Paris, the empire collapses. The city erupts in revolution. And in January 1871, in the glittering Hall of Mirrors at Versailles, the King of Prussia is crowned Emperor of a united Germany. The humiliation for France is absolute. The triumph for Bismarck, total. He has redrawn Europe with ink and deception. The Ems Dispatch was only 200 words long, but it reshaped a century. The new German Empire would dominate Europe militarily, industrially, politically. France, humiliated and bitter, would dream of revenge. That revenge would come 44 years later, in the trenches of the First World War. Historians often call Bismarck the greatest statesman of the 19th century. But what he proved was far more modern and far more dangerous. That truth can be edited, that perception can be engineered, that wars can begin not with armies, but with information. When Bismarck rewrote those few lines, he didn't just start a war. He invented the art of narrative warfare, long before anyone had a word for propaganda. He understood that in politics, reality is what people believe it to be, and that belief can be built or destroyed with a pen. This has been Hidden in History, where shadows still speak. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to subscribe, share, and join us again for more forgotten moments that shaped our world from the shadows. Because sometimes the loudest events in history begin with silence and a whisper sent by wire.